Hi, everyone. This is Delfino Aguilar, your host of Del Talk, for our second episode here of season 3 with a very special guest, my neighbor, my friend, Mr. Rich Browne, who is a CIO, Chief Information Officer here at Kind Lending. Rich, welcome to Del Talk.
Del, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be the first Kind technologist on Del Talks. I'm very honored to be here, so I thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you, Rich. I know we're going to talk about a lot of great things. You know, our offices are next to each other too, which is fun. You get to hear me talk to all the wonderful salespeople and everybody we have on our team. Don't give my secrets away, all right?
Hey, I can hear it all.
You can. So, Rich, tell us a little bit about yourself. So, you're fairly new at Kind, right? Although time flies here when you're having fun. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, so the people watching can learn a little bit about you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in technology for 20 plus years now on mainly every facet that you can think of, from security to infrastructure to now even app dev. But yeah, I've been in the mortgage industry or financial services industry for 6 years, which is definitely a rookie compared to everybody else here at Kind, everyone being a 20 to 30 year veteran. But yeah, I've definitely been in technology for a long time. Been with a previous lender for a couple of years, and they recruited me to come over here. Super excited to be here. Super excited to see that the culture is what we're portraying through our social media channels as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, we're lucky to have you, man. I know you live in Southern California like myself. I live in San Diego, and adding to our team and our family is one of the big things that we do here. We're constantly recruiting. We're constantly looking for great people like you, especially on our leadership team. So thank you so much for some of the things you've done already so far. So Rich, talk to us a little bit about what you do here. You've been laying down the groundwork for a lot of different things. We've done a lot of things here quickly. We're trying to be a lot more strategic on a lot of the initiatives that we're doing here. Talk to us a little bit about all the people you interact with on a daily basis, because you have your hands in a lot of different things, especially on the technology front. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. One of the cool things and one of the exciting things that about the opportunity to come to Kind is that we were able to build our technology platform from the ground up.
Yep.
Right? So we weren't tethered to any kind of legacy problems, which you'll find, or which I've found at previous employers or lenders that I've worked for. So we were able to do some really cool things on the end user side as it relates to using optical logins, right? So facial recognition to log into your laptop.
Right.
We're able to implement security platforms that are a little more leading edge on the technology side to help improve some of our threat and vulnerability management, right? And then also introducing things like what we're doing on the mortgage side as it relates to utilizing SaaS platforms and not really being tethered to a data center per se, right? Going into the cloud for almost everything that we're doing at this point, which is a lot different than what many of the traditional lenders are doing right now.
Yeah.
So, pretty excited. And then in terms of interactions with all the different groups, yeah, I mean, I first and foremost that is security, right? So security is it touches every group. There's a lot of interactions that we have to work with to manage security across the different environments. And then in addition to that, it's how can we improve and bring automation and business process automation to become more efficient and drive quicker close times, basically, right? So.
Right. And that's, I think you're going to get a lot of people's attention by saying quicker close times, right?
Exactly.
Like I think people watching, it's all about that. It's all about speed in this market. There's a lot of different indicators, right? What's happening, but speed, closing quickly is important. And we're setting the foundations for that. Rich, talk to us a little bit about, information and being able to protect information and why that's important, because obviously it's important. There's a lot of threats out there regarding, companies being attacked from information, and I want to transition to, after that, talk a little bit about mortgage brokers, how they can protect themselves, right? But let's talk a little bit about that. Why is it important for us to be super, super, really aware of the threat that's out there and what we're doing to prevent those kind of things happening?
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, security has to be first and foremost with everything
Yeah.
that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And foundationally, it's protecting our customers' data,
Right.
right? If we can't do that, then we can't exist as a company, right? We can't protect our customers' data, and that's what I believe, right? So,
Hmm.
and so some of the measures that we have, we're utilizing, some of the leading technology platforms around data protection,
That's right.
encryption. We have a agreement with a managed service provider who's doing 24/7 monitoring of all our systems,
Nice.
threat and vulnerability management. They're checking all of our systems to make sure that there's not a software vulnerability in those systems, right? So
Right.
that these are all areas of attack vectors, right?
Yeah.
So and then the big key is educating our employees around cybersecurity best practices, right?
Right.
Because you could have the best tools in place, the best processes and procedures in place. No matter how good your security, things are going to come through and get to that end user. And will they actually click on that link, right?
Mhm.
Have you taught them well enough to spot things if it's a phishing campaign or whatnot, so that we're protected all around. I mean, man, it's crazy what you're seeing nowadays, right? So you're reading about it every day around
Yeah.
ransomware, and then the
Right.
fines that are coming out if you're exposing customer data, and we just have to be diligent on all fronts there to make sure that we're protecting our customers' data.
Yeah, and I feel very, very confident. We have a lot of mechanisms in place, like you said. That's funny. I think most recently there was a company that was held ransom for like 70 million, I believe, like in Bitcoin, I believe was what it was, right? And so that's very, very real danger out there that we have to stay on top of. And I know you guys are. We a lot of the folks watching today are mortgage brokers, loan officers, people that are entrepreneurs, self-employed, that
Mhm.
really like to protect and are really diligent about protecting their customers' information, as well as small business owners, right? All different types of business owners we are watching. Talk to us a little bit about some tools that you might recommend for them. Is there any policies that, off the top of your head, that somebody should be following on a regular basis as a business owner?
Yeah, I mean, there from a simple standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we went to the Microsoft collaboration platform, right?
Yep.
And Microsoft now is becoming the easy button to do everything, including security. You
Hmm.
can build a best of breed security platform by utilizing all these different one-off tools, but then you've got to implement them and you've got to do all the work to
Yeah.
manage each of these tools, as opposed to you go to Microsoft and you buy their security suite, which covers everything, right? So now, is it 100% all the way there for every facet of security? No, but it's their upper right hand quadrant for Gartner
Hmm.
on all of those factors, right? So
Good.
so it's finding a simplified platform that will cover you across as much as possible, right? And a platform like Microsoft's is an easy button, right? Google does some of the same things with their Google Suite, right? So from that perspective, find
Yeah.
something easy, something that can cover you across as broad as possible.
Yeah.
But then, in all honesty, it's depending on the size of the company, it's educating your people, right? And potentially even having some sort of third party kind of monitoring your systems for you. Like, even if you have
Hmm.
Microsoft, you want to have somebody looking at the Microsoft logs and what's happening,
Yeah.
who's trying to attack you, what are they trying to do, and it's generally all there.
Right.
And most small business owners are not gonna be savvy enough, or maybe they are, but they're not gonna have the time to do the 24/7 monitoring like that, right? So
Mhm.
I would recommend having, hiring a third party to kind of just do that monitoring for you, to kind
Okay.
of let you know what's going on from a security perspective from the tools that you have there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's a lot of information for them. I think it's good though. It's a lot of information. Just listening to you, a lot of great ideas. I think it's always good to have a third party help you out for sure. And there's a lot of resources out there from different levels of expense too, right? That they have access to through Microsoft as well too. So Rich, talk to us a little bit about, you and I joke around a lot. We're sit there close to the office next to each other. We talk about how the business is changing,
mhm.
constantly. There's different things happening in the business. How has tech, in your view, over the last, let's just say last 18 months, because I feel, we were forced to be a lot of companies, when I say we, I mean the industry has been forced to make a lot of changes with technology, and I think it's great. We're all pushing each other and to be advancing and offer different things to our customers. What, in your viewpoint, how has tech changed the mortgage industry in over the last 18 months?
Well, I mean, you just look. I mean, obviously the driver's COVID, right?
Right.
People had to work from home. We had to, you
Yeah.
know, create platforms that are accessible from anywhere,
Right.
right? Pre-pandemic, you were seeing like 60% of consumers applying for mortgages interacting with a person,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And one of the things that happened with COVID is consumers have gotten a lot more comfortable utilizing digital,
Yeah.
right? They're starting to trust it a lot more, right? And I think the last number I saw, is that 60% in person or having someone help them fill out an application has flipped, right? Now we're talking 60% digital applications, right?
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
taken. And you have some companies where it's like high 80s that all of their applications come in from a digital perspective, right? And you look at things like, now most consumers expect to be able to e-sign their docs, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sign anything anymore in person. So, and that all of that drivers happened through what's happened to us over the last 18 months with COVID, right? Being in the house, not
Yeah.
wanting, so digital mortgage has definitely flipped over the last 18 months, pushing to more of a digital type environment.
It is. It is. And I think as we start to see the country open up, it's going to be interesting to see if people are going to be meeting in person more. I know that, a lot of our customers have started having events again. We held an event in Utah, right? We had an event in Rhode Island. We're having one on the West Coast here. So I think that there's, people are definitely getting out, but I think you mentioned it earlier, closing faster, right? That
Mhm.
digital experience is going to be even more important as we move on. Rich, you are always growing your team, right? Always looking for talented people, right? Here at
Absolutely.
Kind, we really are looking for people that are kind ambassadors, people that want to make a difference not only here at the company but in the world, right? What
Mhm.
is something you look for in a quality of somebody you're looking to join your team?
Oh, someone who's passionate about technology.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing for me. And I almost take the notion of you don't need to know everything that all of our technology platforms coming in. If I'm talking to you and I ask you, one of the questions I ask in an interview is, talk to me about something you're reading or some technology you're learning that has no relation to your job.
yeah,
you know I want to hear about the guy who's programming his home audio system so that it automates and does all this crazy stuff when he walks in the door, right? or
yeah.
or his home management system, right? So those kind of guys that are just like thinking about technology all the time, and
Hmm.
how can I make things better, how do I make things more efficient, what tools can I use to do better. That those guys who are constantly learning and passionate about technology are way more important to me than somebody who's done Microsoft for 10 years,
Right.
right? So
Right.
that's the biggest thing I look for when I'm talking to people, one that wants to come on board here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Rich, we covered a lot, and I know you're really busy. We got a lot of meetings going on right now, a lot of moving parts. I personally want to thank you. You did an awesome job for us. Your leadership. We really appreciate everything you brought to the table, and I'm excited to see all the great advancements because I'm going to hold you to it. This is getting recorded, and we're going to close faster, right? That's
Right?
that's that's what we care about,
That,
closing faster.
that's the big key, right?
That's the
When I
key.
look at investing in technology, right now, it's like, what can I invest into to speed up and
Yep.
be more efficient? So,
Yep,
yeah.
definitely. So there's a little tradition we have here at Del Talk that's powered by Kind Lending and all the wonderful marketing people that are here behind the scenes, making notes for us here as we're talking. You and I are early guys. We get up early. I can always hit
Absolutely.
you at 5 and I'll get a response, right? 5 a.m. What's a routine that you stick to? We have found that every successful person has a routine that they stick to no matter what, or they try to stick to 98% of the time, right? So do you have one? Do you want to share it?
Um, I guess for me, it's kind of two things, right?
Yeah.
You need to find time to get your work done, right?
Yep.
So, like you just said, if I look at my calendar right now, I think I'm 90% booked and double and potentially triple booked for all my time, right?
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to get work done there? And you've got to find time, whether that's staying up late, or
Mhm.
in my place, I get up early, right? So my
Yeah.
alarm goes at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not getting out of bed at the time. I think I hit snooze a couple times, and
Yeah.
then I'm generally out of bed by 4:15, 4:20.
Yeah.
And getting up, and I have a office that I work out of, from like 4:30 in the morning till about 7:30, and then I get up and get ready to come into the office. So
Yeah.
that's the first time. The first thing is finding time, and you got to be consistent with it, right?
Yeah.
And then have a plan to accomplish your work, right? So I use task lists for everything, right? And you got to be diligent, on getting those tasks into the task list, and then grooming that task list and checking things off, right? So, I mean, those for me is kind of what works, and what's made me successful up until this point. So yeah, that's find time to get your work done, outside of all the meetings that you're in, and
Yeah.
and then figure out a way to be organized and track your work and be able to check it off and move on. So
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm a big early guy, as everybody knows. Sometimes I'm texting people too early and it's like, hey, Delfino, it's 5:30, but it's all good. And I really appreciate your time. Rich Browne, our CIO here at Kind Lending. Very happy that you're here, Rich. We should start a podcast since we're both bourbon fans, two bald
right,
guys and a bourbon. What do you
I
think?
love
That'd
it.
be cool.
That would
Try
be
different bourbons.
awesome. Absolutely. I have plenty at the house for us to review. I'll just bring one in weekly, and we can just have a quick review, what we think.
There you go. And we'll start that. Look for that, people. Look for that. Two ball guys and a bourbon. Anyway, so all right, Rich. Thank you for joining. If you want to learn more about Rich Browne, please visit him on LinkedIn. To learn more about Kind Lending, please join us at our website at kindlending.com, on Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Rich, thanks a lot again for joining Del Talk. Really appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Del.
Thank you.